Hi, Brandon Artisan, President of Champion Strategies, with our ongoing series on public speaking. You are in front of a group. Congratulations. Whether it's for your job, you're a supervisor or a manager now, or maybe you're one of our public educators and you're in front of a group. And that is the most important job, I believe, that we have is the future, our babies, and what is taught to them that they understand and will implement in their future. Or maybe someone has told you that you have a great speaking voice and you need to be doing this. And then this year, 2020, the pandemic hit and everybody is scurrying to get inside this little box. And you find yourself really locked out unless you have the tools and the team that helps you get seen and exposure from that. You can also look at public speaking as part of communications as a whole. And there's a lot of great institutions, 2 year, 4 year institutions that would be glad for a career change. And you may look at it and say, this is what I'd like to do. Or maybe you're just one of those people that just peruse through and try to find some content, try to find some videos that you can feel comfortable with because you already have what it takes, in my opinion, to start. And that is the ability to practice, to practice, to practice. So today, I'd like to just talk to you about the most widespread bad advice when it comes to public speaking. Bad advice. I want you to imagine you're standing on the TED stage, feeling naked and vulnerable as they're all looking at you, being the audience. So, what do? Do you picture them naked instead, even though you're probably secretly donning your lucky underwear for your speech? Don't try to picture your audience and theirs. Most people attribute this advice and practice to Winston Churchill, who was indeed one of the best orators of our time. However, times have changed considerably, and the bar has been raised virtually to a level of public speaking where we need to be ready for the new way. In theory, picturing your audience naked or in their underwear is intended to make you feel more powerful, more in control, and somehow less vulnerable on stage. But let's face it, most of us don't present to a room full of supermodels. And if you were, would you honestly be able to speak more clearly? The idea is pretty ridiculous. I'm here to tell you and to the late great Winston Churchill why imagining your audience naked never works. Eye contact, if you will, is important. If you're imagining the person in front row with their clothes off, will you be able to look them in the eye? Connecting via eye contact is important during a presentation because it makes the audience feel heard and involves them in your presentation. It's the nonverbal equivalent of saying somebody's name aloud. You can't be fully present. So the best speakers are truly all in for every single presentation. They're evaluating the suitable feedback and facial expressions of the audience, feeling the power of their message, yelling and healing and touching the people, knowing that they're going to go back and at least try to implement what you're teaching them. Or if anything, they'll probably use their technology just to make sure what you're saying is right. No matter what, all of this is good focus for you and your energy because you have that eye contact. Also, if you are the one naked, let's emotionally speak of this. Picture your audience in the nude, generally A factual for increasing your feelings of authority and reducing exposure to vulnerability. Believe it or not, however, a little bit of vulnerability goes a long way. If you're mentally stripped your audience of their clothes, you're reducing them to a mindless blob with no identity, which takes away from the community that you're working hard to get your message to. But if you instead strip away your wall of perfection and share something human about yourself, suddenly you're someone that people can relate to in the audience, someone for whom that they can cheer for in the audience. When you actively have empathy of your audience by sharing something truly authentic about yourself, that's when the level starts to rise. It's also good to practice. The more prepared you are for your speech, the less likely your nerves will begin to attack you. Just knowing the content is not enough. You must practice how you will say it, how you want them to hear it, being the audience, and what do they think it sounds like. Never forget to speak your presentation out loud. And remember, it's not about memorizing every word as much knowing your content inside out. And then finally, we need to always be ready for a focus shift with your audience. That's key. When you shift your focus from the nervous, self conscious energy instead to shining the spotlight on building your community with your words, that audience is going to hear the impact of that message. We call that an explosion, a takeaway, something that they can leave your speech, your content, and go and implement or start to research. So consider this. What does the audience need for you to move forward and be successful with what I just said? Why are they here to listen to you speak? What do they care about? All of these things will help you anticipate the questioning ahead of time if there is a Q&A session, which will also help you feel more prepared and in control. Imagining a person going way back to where we started, naked, is not only potentially endangering them, but it hurts you because you're not on point of connecting with your audience. There are people who want to be part of your message and need to feel included. That's where the eye contact is so important. And you also need to make sure that one of the most important things when it comes to an audience is this question: why are you on the stage in front? That's what the audience. Why are you there? If you're staring down at the prospects of public speaking, you surely have something important to share. If you are really motivated that you really want to do this, there's going to be an audience, whether it's in front of the room or whether it's in this box we call the internet through a Zoom or some technology like that. The audience is the key. It's your job as the speaker to be the expert, the subject matter person. You're there to deliver a message for them. So when you keep them in control, being the audience, when you keep them on your every next word, your next point of how it's going to empower and improve their lives, whether it's work or whether it's for their family or whether it's for personal growth, that's where your next presentation is coming from. Please know you don't have to stand in front of people and ask, what would they look like naked? We don't want to start that way. Winston Churchill was one of the best orators ever. but those days and times have gone and changed. What we need to do is make sure that we're confident with our material that comes with practice. We're confident in front of an audience and we can pan the home room. That takes practice. And our Q&A. Always be prepared for those things. Once again, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategy, and giving you more information on our public speaking workshop. We hope you got something out of it. And as always, in parting, you go out and make it a champion.